Thank you so very much for joining me today. This is God's boy, Emmanuel, your host of the Guest Chamber podcast. You are very welcome to this episode. We like to admonish you to check out our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. You can find it by searching out the Guest Chamber podcast on Facebook and YouTube. We want you to like it, subscribe, follow it, and leave a comment. We will be glad to have you there. Today we are going to read from the book of Luke chapter 19 from verse 1 to verse 10. Luke 19 verse 1 to 10, and I'm reading from the New International Version. It says, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to murmur, he has gone to be the guest of a sinner. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount. Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. What an amazing story we see here in the book of Luke chapter 19. And today I'd like to speak to you on the topic, climb a sycamore fig tree. Climb a sycamore fig tree. Now, penultimate week, we talked about the man that was taken by his 4 friends, the paralytic man whose friends broke the roof in order to get to Jesus. They climbed the roof in order to see Jesus. And this week we are seeing somebody else climbing a sycamore tree. This man was short and there was a crowd in front of him. Therefore, he could not see Jesus. He was disadvantaged in that area. Folks, there may be areas of your life that you are very disadvantaged. It may be your height, like Zacchaeus. He was so short that he couldn't see Jesus. And then, secondly, there was a crowd. He couldn't get through to the crowd. And thirdly, he was not a lovable man because he was a chief tax collector and had cheated a lot of people in the area of charging them for their taxes. So he wasn't lovable. He was hated by many. They didn't like him, so nobody was even going to help him out. In these 3 ways, he was so disadvantaged. He was short, there was a crowd, and the crowd didn't even like him. But he had foresight. He ran ahead. He ran ahead. There are things in life that you need to run ahead for. You can't dwell on your disadvantages. You can't focus on your limitations. You can't begin to be in self-pity because of the things that you cannot do, the areas that you are disadvantaged at. Yes, there were some other areas that he had advantage. He was wealthy. He had position. He had position in society. He was a chief tax collector. And he was wealthy. He was rich. But He was short and couldn't get anywhere in a crowd. And he wasn't lovable. So it's life with many of us. It's a mixture of the things that we have and the things that we do not have. But in this case, it is important because now Jesus was passing through. Jesus was not coming for him. He was just going his way, just passing through the city. And this man determined to see Jesus, so he ran ahead. A lot of Christians are always behind. They are never ahead in anything. They are never ahead with scriptures. They are never ahead in business, never ahead in the things that they are supposed to do. This man ran ahead and he climbed a sycamore tree. If we know anything about the sycamore tree, we know that it is a tall tree. It can grow up to 30 feet tall. So he knew that he needed to choose a tree from which he will have a vantage spot to view Jesus. And he chose the sycamore tree, which can be as tall as 30 feet and can stay in the ground for up to 600 years before it starts to wither. And so Jesus, passing through, got under the sycamore tree and he looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, come down, for tonight I'm going to stay in your house." Remember that Jesus was just passing through, but he came to a full stop because there is now a man that is above him on the tree, and he caught Jesus' attention. If you do not catch Jesus' attention, he will be passing through just in every area of your life. And that's why miracles happen in Christian meetings and nobody is trying to attract Jesus. Nobody is trying to attract miracle. No one is trying to attract the word. No one is trying to attract truth and life and light. Because this is all that Jesus is, the resurrection, the life, the light of the world. So Jesus said, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately, for today I will spend time with you in your house." And here comes the crowd that is filled with tall people who just allowed Jesus to pass through. They were not gaining anything from his presence. And they are not allowing people like Zacchaeus, who is short, to be able to access it. They begin to mutter, "He's going to the house of a sinner." The righteous people are just allowing him to pass through, not tapping, not drawing any spiritual benefit. Any benefit from this miracle that was just passing by. And now when this sinner draws his attention, taps into the Lord and makes withdrawals in the spirit for the blessing, they become angry. He is going with a sinner. And he said, "Lord, today I give half of my goods to the poor. And if I've cheated anyone, I return it fourfold." And Jesus said, "Today salvation is come to this house, because you are the son of Abraham." Folks, you can draw salvation today into your house, into your life, into any aspect of your life that needs change. It can be financial, marital, physical, health-wise, business-wise, any area of your life that needs salvation, it is available today. It doesn't matter if you're short in stature. It doesn't matter if you don't have the required height, physically and in the spirit. All you need to do is run ahead, find a sycamore tree, climb up that tree so you can get a full view of the light of Jesus, of the way, of the life, of miracle, of the word of God, and salvation will surely come into your life because you are a son and a daughter of Abraham.